The Mixars Primo is a 2-channel controller for Serato DJ Pro and is Mixars' first attempt at creating a controller. It has all the features that DJs have come to expect in a mid-range controller, and it also includes some features found usually on controllers that cost almost double its price, like larger jog wheels and long throw pitch faders. The Primo stands out in a crowded mid-range controller market with its combination of build quality, features, and price. While the mid-range market may be dominated by companies like Pioneer and Newmark, the Mixars Primo is definitely worth checking out. So in this video, I'll go through all of its features and give you my review of the controller. And if you're interested in more hardware reviews just like this one, make sure you subscribe to this channel. But now, let's get into the review of the Mixars Primo. The Mixars Primo is a mid-range 2-channel controller built for Serato DJ Pro that presents an interesting value. The Primo follows Mixars' formula of providing a well-built piece of hardware with great build quality at a value price. Even though it is a mid-range controller, coming in at around $499 US, it is one of the lower cost mid-range controllers on the market. The build of the controller is reassuringly mostly aluminum. While there are some plastic parts, the important sections of the controller that have the controls or the inputs and outputs are metal. The Primo feels solid, like it can take a beating, and will still last you a long time. The Primo has a full array of inputs and outputs. So starting from left to right, we have our booth output that's on 1/4-inch jacks. Then we have our master output that's on both XLR and RCA. Then next to those, we have our 2 inputs, which are RCA and our phono line selectable. The phono line switchable inputs allow for the controller to be used as an external mixer. The Primo is also DVS compatible if you purchase the proper plugin for Serato DJ Pro. Then to the right of that, we have our microphone input that's on combo jack, so you're able to plug in both XLR and 1/4-inch. Then we have our USB input, our power switch, and finally our power adapter input. And here on the front, we have some controls as well. So starting from left to right, we have our microphone or auxiliary input selector that will select either this RCA auxiliary input right here on the front or the microphone input found on the back of the controller. We have our microphone or auxiliary input volume knob right here. We have our mic or auxiliary input tone knob, which is basically a 1-knob EQ. Then we have an echo effect that we can put on the microphone input. Then moving across, we have our crossfader reverse that's on a hardware switch. This is another feature that you don't find on many mid-range controllers. Usually you have to actually do it in the software. So having a hardware control for it is really nice. Next to that, we have the crossfader curve. You can either have, a nice, really smooth blending crossfader, or if you turn it all the way to the right, have a really sharp cut crossfader if you like to scratch. Again, this control isn't always found on a mid-range controller and is usually found in the software, so really nice to have a hardware control for that as well. Then to the right of that, we have our headphone section. Right here we have the Q or master knob, which mixes either between hearing just the channels we have selected to queue up, or if we turn all the way to the right, we can hear what's coming out of the master output, or if we put it in the middle, a blend in between. Then to the right of that, we have our actual headphone volume. Then what's really nice, another feature you don't find on mid-range controllers very often, is a split queue function for the headphone. So if you're a DJ that likes using split queue, that feature is on this controller. Then to the right of that, we have our actual headphone inputs. And another cool feature that's really nice to have on any controller is that you have both 1/4-inch and 1/8-inch headphone inputs. So if you forgot your 1/4-inch adapter, you can use the 1/8-inch, or if you're going back to back with the DJ, you could have up to 2 different pairs of headphones plugged in at once. So the Mixars Primo follows your standard Serato DJ Pro controller layout, which can be broken down into pretty much 2 sections. So we have our mixer section right here in the middle, and then we have our deck section to either side of the mixer section. So I'll go ahead and start with the deck section right here. Now right here at the top of the deck section, we have our controls for our effects banks, where we can control each of the 3 effects in each bank using these knobs right here. We can control the beat value using this encoder, and then we can turn the effects on and off using these buttons. And below the effects controls, we have the jog wheel. Now I really like the jog wheel on the Mixars Primo. It's larger than the majority of jog wheels you'll find on a mid-range controller. Has some really nice tension, not too tight, not too loose. Overall, really great feel. Metal top plate, plastic sides, just overall a really nice jog wheel to use, especially for someone like myself who likes to scratch and cut. Having a larger surface, having a larger jog wheel makes the world of difference. Now another cool feature of this jog wheel is this LED light ring that you see around the jog wheel. So this light will follow the playhead in Serato DJ Pro and just give some really nice visual feedback directly on the controller so you know where your playhead is without having to look at the computer. So as you can see, it follows the playhead, pretty accurate, just a really nice visual feedback that you get from the jog wheel. And I like that the LED ring is around the outside, makes it a lot easier to see where your playhead is right on the controller. Then to the right of that jog wheel, we have a long throw pitch fader, which I really appreciate. Now this pitch fader is more along the lines of the length of a pitch fader you would find on a media player like a CDJ, rather than the short throw pitch faders you would find on most low-end and mid-range controllers. And for a DJ like me that likes to manually beat match, I really appreciate these long throw pitch faders. It makes it so much easier to really dial in and get your BPM just right, just like that. And also the tension on these is great. They're not too loose, but not too tight, just really nice feel overall. Now below the jog wheel, we have a feature that you don't find on many mid-range controllers, and that's a touch needle strip. And we can use this to scroll very quickly through a track, just like this with the touch of a finger. Now, I'm not a user of the touch needle strip on most controllers or even on CDJs, but I really appreciate the fact that they placed the touch needle strip below the jog wheel instead of above it right next to the effects sections, because I found myself at times when I'd use controllers that have the touch strip right here, I'd find myself accidentally hitting it when I intended to hit the effects. My finger would slip down a little bit and I would touch the touch strip and the track would jump, just causing a whole lot of havoc. And I really appreciate it having down here because it's not in a place where I'd accidentally hit it. You know, my hand's either on the jog wheel up here or it's down here on the performance pads, and there's an okay amount of space right here where I'm not going to accidentally touch the strip and accidentally jump through the track. Now below the touch strip, we have right here our 8 performance pads and our 8 pad modes. And of course, the first pad mode we have is hot cue, where we can jump around using hot cues that we've set. And of course, we can go ahead and set more cues by just touching a pad just like that. And erasing a cue is as simple as hitting shift and deleting them just like that. Then the next mode we have is our loop roll, which also includes our beat jump if we have beat jump enabled in Serato DJ Pro. So we can use this to and we can just use the loop roll like that to get some really creative things going. Then next to that, we have our slicer mode right here. Pretty standard. Then of course we have our sampler. So if you have samples loaded to any of the 8 slots, if we turn the volume up, just like the normal air horn that everybody loves to hate. Then we have our secondary modes. We have cue loop, manual loop, which you see the text right here where we can set our in and out points. So let's get into that mode. So I can have the track playing. Now of course, if I had quantize on in the software, this would quantize. Then we have our slicer loop mode. Then of course we have pitch play. If you have the pitch play plugin enabled in Serato DJ, you can go ahead and use that and change the key of the track, but again, that's a paid upgrade for Serato DJ Pro. Now, to the right of the performance pads, we have our auto loop controls where we can select the length of our auto loop we can turn the auto loop on and off, just like that. And then we have parameter controls right here below that. Then to the left, we have our play pause button and our temporary cue button. Then above that, we have our sync button. And also around the jog wheel, we have some controls as well. We have our sensor button right here, which will send the track playing backwards as long as the sensor button's held down. To the top left of the jog wheel, we have our jog wheel mode select. So of course we have vinyl mode on right now, where if I touch the top of it, it'll pause the track. If I turn vinyl mode off, now this turns into a pitch bend. Then to the top right, we have our slip mode. So if you like using slip mode, like you would find on Pioneer CDJ or many other controllers, and a lot of different softwares have a slip mode as well, you can use that. And now what slip mode does is the track will continue playing, and if you start or stop the track, it'll still continue playing, or if you're mashing on different hot cues, you'll hear those, but the track will continue playing on. So let me give you an example. So I'll go ahead and turn slip mode on. I'll hit play. And just like that, notice the track continues playing on, but you can hear me hitting these cue points. Now if I have slip mode off, the track will play as normal, just like that. Now moving on to the mixture section right here, at the top we have some library controls. This encoder I can use to scroll through my library. If I press down on the encoder, I can scroll through my crates. If I hit it again, I can start scrolling through that crate. Then I can use these buttons to load tracks to each deck. That simple. Then below that, we have our input select for each channel. So to the left, this will be our inputs we have on the back of the controller, so you can plug in a turntable or a CDJ or a media player. In the middle, we have decks 1 and 2 for the software. Then to the right, we have decks 3 and 4. And notice the colors of the jog wheel change, which is really handy, so you know which actual decks you're on, if you're on 1 or if you're on 3, and on this side if you're on 2 or if you're on 4. And then below that, we have our EQ section with our trim right here at the top. Then we have our 3-band EQ control, which is full kill. Then what's really interesting, under that, instead of just having a filter, we actually have channel effects, which is a lot like the color effects you'd find on Pioneer DJ gear. So instead of just being a filter, we can select 4 different effects, and also we can turn them on and off, which is really crucial, and I really love that about this controller. And that's because when I'm using the filter like this, if I leave it, a little off center, I'll end up either losing a little bit of low end or losing a little bit of high end. But because I have an on-off switch, once I'm done using it, I can just turn it off, and I don't really have to worry 100% about getting it right on the dot. I'm not going to be losing any frequency. It's really easy to turn it on and off, and really easy to see which one of these effects I have on and off by the lights, the LED lights we have underneath each of these buttons. Then below that, we have our headphone cue select, so we can select which channel we'd like to hear in the headphones, either one or the other or both at the same time. Then we have our shift button, which lets us get to all of the secondary functions you see in these white boxes right here. Then we have our volume faders for each channel, and then our crossfader. If this is not your first Serato DJ Pro controller, you will feel very comfortable playing on the Mixars Primo. But if this is your first controller, once you get used to this layout, you will be comfortable playing on a wide variety of Serato DJ Pro controllers that are on the market. Mixars has built itself by making hardware that over-delivers on features without costing an arm and a leg. And the Mixars Primo is a fantastic first entry into the controller world. For a DJ like myself who likes to beat mix manually, the larger platters and long throw pitch faders makes me reach for the Mixars Primo first before other controllers of this size. So if you're in the market for a new mid-range controller that's fully featured and doesn't break the bank, the Mixars Primo is definitely worth a look. And now, we'd like to pass off this question to you. When looking at a new mid-range controller, which features are most important? We'd love to hear what you guys have to say, so go ahead and leave that down in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and are looking for more gear review videos just like this one, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Now, get good, get out there, and make the moments.